What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the local meta report here in St. Louis, Missouri. I am Brad, co-host of the Rules of Villainy podcast, and now possibly officially the mayor of Lorcana. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please, I implore you, check out the latest Lorecast over on the Disney Lorcana Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Disney Lorcana. I'll have a link in the description below. They do a weekly Lorecast talking about what's coming up in the game and playing the Palace Heist and having a lot of fun over there. And it certainly was a lot of fun this past Thursday. Go check that out. Even check out the minute-long supercut that Andy put together here on this channel immediately afterwards. Impressively, how quick he turned that around. So much fun was had this week here at the Rules of Villainy, and couldn't be happier. But enough about that. This video series is about the latest and greatest in Disney Lorcana competitive decks here in St. Louis throughout the previous week of competitive play, league play. And it's just a way to showcase the community, the players, the stores, everything that makes this game great here in St. Louis and around the world. So without further ado, let's get into the first deck. It's really exciting because it's a young one, and I love when the kids can get on here. Let's check out their deck. And this first deck belongs to Lili at the collector store on Tuesday nights with a 3-0 with Churnadogs. Churnadogs is a very fun deck I have built. I have not got to play yet. I've played a few iterations of it in the previous set, but haven't really gone all in on it yet. I should, because my dog is now in the game in the form of Jock. Jock, the Scotty dog from Lady and the Tramp, now exists, but Lili doesn't have him in this deck. Where is Jock, Lili? It doesn't matter. It has been determined you don't need Jock to go 3-0 with this deck. If those of you who are unfamiliar with Turnidogs, this deck is an overwhelming deck. A bunch of one drops. I think 15 one drops here, if I count correctly. 5, 8, 12, 16 one drops. And what that does is she gets as many one drops, 1 and 2 drops out there as possible, making you deal with them. 3 of them having 4 bodies, 4 willpower on them to make it even harder to get rid of. She used 3 Nala, 1 Little John. She probably just did that for flavor. You could do 4 of either one of those. And what's really great about those big bodies, including Daisy, if you need to run one of those 3 cards into something, you can do that right before you play the Rapunzel to get a little bit of card draw. The other new addition of to this deck is this 6-cost tramp. He's a shift tramp that comes out whenever you shift him in on 4, as early as 4, to whenever one of your cards gets banished on your opponent's turn, you may draw a card. So that's a new engine to get the drawback. There was a kind of a not a lot of draw in the original version of this, and it only got better. We talked about this lady, the 3-drop lady that comes out and plays a 2-cost or less card for free when she does. So just more pressure on the board immediately. And then the goal of the deck from the beginning is to get to that Chernabog as quickly as possible. The more characters you have in your discard, the cheaper Chernabog is. And what happens is you could also play this 7-cost tramp at basically as soon as possible, because if you play all these 1 costs in your first 2 or 3 turns, this tramp costs 1 less for every character on the board. And then whenever you play him, you can draw as many cards as you have characters on the board and then discard as many. So it's a big hand filter. So you got 5 characters on board. He costs 5 less. You play him, you draw 5, you discard 5, and then you can manage your hand as well as possible. Find that Chernabog and soon get him out there, because you have all the discarded cards from the tramp in the discard. Very, very cool deck. I can't wait to actually play it. I've been focusing on that's my problem these past couple sets, is that I like so many decks, but I have not landed on a single one. But Lili here managed to absolutely destroy at the collector store. She played a Blurple. She played Ruby Amethyst, Rudros, another content creator here in St. Louis. That's not an easy matchup. She got through that one, and then she got through a Ruby Sapphire from Eddie. So very, very cool. Very happy for for Lili, not so happy for Eddie in that moment. But yeah, I heard that she was really excited to be on here. She deserves it. Very well played. She had a really cute moment last week at Bodach where her hand was completely bricked, and I was sitting next to her, and she kind of nudged me. She goes, "Hey, look at this," and I looked at it. And I was like, we had a moment of like, we understood. That's not good, but it was really cute. I told Nick, her father, about it later on, but very clearly she knows what she's doing. So congratulations to Lili. Always happy to see a kid on here and doing well. She went to maybe her first big tournament this past weekend. Not this past weekend, the weekend before down in Louisville, and I think she had a really good time. She probably played this, but yeah, congratulations to Lili on this week. Can't wait to see how this deck evolves and how well you do with it throughout the rest of the set. All right, moving on to the second 3-0 at the Collector Store, which I forgot to mention earlier. 11 people at the Collector Store this past week on Tuesday night. Ron goes 3-0 once again with Ruby Sapphire wardrobe items, as he calls it, and still hasn't renamed it to "We Have Hiram at Home." That is a joke. It's something he's been saying the entire set as the wardrobe has been revealed. It is a card that whenever you exert this card, she's a 3/4, you can discard an item to draw 2 cards. So yeah, Ron has been piloting this deck for a while, doing very well. I did a little bit deeper dive into it the past week. I'm not going to make you go look for it. The object of this deck is the exact same as it always been: is flood the board with items and hit the Tamatoa for the dime at the end of the game. He's got all kinds of control with the Sisus. The new Get Out card is really good. Banish a chosen character and draw a card. It's a 6-cost uninkable, but it gets rid of anything without ward. So yeah, Ron's been piloting this really well. Took it to CCS this past weekend. I don't know what record he had, but I know that he did pretty decently. I don't think he made day 2, but that is okay. He had a good time. His wife did very well. In fact, a little anecdote here. This 3-0 is going to come with an asterisk because him and his wife were paired in the final match, and I think they just drew and went home early, had some other stuff to get to. Britt is very capable of beating Ron, especially this past weekend, because she beat Zan Said in the first round of CCS. So this match would have been a good one. It could have gone either way. Just wanted to shout that out there and razz Ron a little bit. But anyway, yeah, great deck here. The new cards here is the wardrobe, the Get Out, the dagger of Shan, or the sword of Shan Yu to ready a chosen character, exert a chosen character to ready another one. They can't quest, but they can re-challenge. So there's all kinds of shenanigans you can do there with the shark or Maui or whatever you need to do to take control and be in a good position in the game. The draw engine is the item Maurice's workshop. And yeah, really good deck. I played into it a practice match on Thursday night. He didn't compete at Bodach on Thursday night, but he came in to say hi to everyone, played a practice match, and we played one single round. I ended up taking it with Blurple 20-19. I it was so close. I was sweating, and it was just a game for fun. But that's the kind of heat that Ron brings, right? He's very good at piloting this deck and knowing what to expect, and very, very good player. So no surprise here that he found his way to the final match that he may or may not have won had they played it out. And it won't be the last time that we see Ron here on this list, I'm sure. So congratulations to Ron. His matchups on the night were Jerry, round 1. Who knows what Jerry was playing? He is the kind of guy who brings new spice every week. It's always exciting. I can't wait for him to be on here one of these days. If he has something exciting that doesn't get a 3-0, I'd sure love to feature it anyway, because his ideas are always so much fun. Second match was Justin in almost certain was a mirror match, Ruby Sapphire. Very similar decks. They work together quite a bit in putting these decks together. So it looks like Ron got the better end of that. And of course, his third match was Britt, which did not get played. So congratulations to Ron. We will see you on here again soon. All right, moving on to Thursday night at Manticore Game Shop. Our first 3-0 of the night belongs to Megan with an Amber Steel Aggro Rhino deck. This hamster is the talk of the town. He has been running rampant in these decks for the past couple weeks, the first 2 weeks of the reign of Jafar, if you will. And I don't see him going anywhere anytime soon. The 4-cost, 2-shift, 4/3 with 2 resist with no damage, quest for 2, is now the ideal turn 2 play in most, if not all, amber steel decks. It is a menace. Like I said in the podcast, the podcast episode title this week is we have another rodent problem, and it is a problem indeed. He comes out on 2 and just wrecks your board. You got the Calhouns that could come out instead and wreck your board, and everything that you need in this deck is super low to the ground. 1 cost all the way up to 4 cost, and they all come out quickly, especially with this lady, the 3 cost lady that quests for 2. And whenever you play her, play a 1 or 2 cost for free. And you likely have one in your hand at that time. She has 10, 14, 18, 22, 26, 31 and 2 drops in the deck. So when that lady comes out, half the deck is available to be played for free. And it's just overwhelming. There's so much happening in this deck. The potato captain himself at the 3 cost as well, preventing you from challenging into anything. The big beefy Lawrence, or Larry as we call him around here, comes out and swings for 4 as well. Pancake Goofy, love the card. A card of contention here at Rules of Villainy currently. I happen to love this card. Vince and Andy do not, but it's seeing a lot more play than perhaps they expected, and I'm very happy for that. I love that card. And then, of course, Rapunzel and Rhino topping off the 4 costs. The song removals, we have Let the Storm Rage On and Strength of a Raging Fire. All can be sang by Cindy on turn 2. And then you got a little bit of hand replenishment with Doc at the 2 drop. Everything about this deck is scary. It is a very, very good deck and seeing a lot of success. Very happy for Megan. Her matchups were, she did get a bye, which is not to discount anything. Those happen once in a while. She played into Saf Steel in round 2, and then an Emerald Amethyst discard deck in round 3, and took the 3-0 on the night. So congratulations to Megan. Really excited about your wins. Not so much excited about seeing more and more of this deck. All right, our second 3-0 of the night at Manticore Game Shop belongs to Megan's husband, John, and I believe this is his first time on the Meta Report. Congratulations to John with this 3-0 with the Sapphire Ruby deck. A lot very similar to Ron's that we just saw a few decks ago. The few differences that I see right away is he's running the Queen package, the 3-drop Queen that whenever she quests, not whenever she quests, exert her to look at the top 4 items of your deck, and top 4 cards. You're looking for an item. You can take any item, reveal it, put it in your hand. If it's 3 cost or less, you can play it for free. And if you notice here in the deck list, every single item but the lucky dime is 3 cost or less. So whatever item she finds, with the exception of the dime, is going to be played to the board for free. It'd be nice to find. You probably don't want to find the dime that early unless you're trying to cheat it out with the Tamatoa. But by that time, the Queen might not be on the board anymore with only a 3/3 body. So it's high risk, high reward, I think, in regards to what you're looking for. A lot of times I've seen the direct result of the workshop not being found. So if these decks don't find the workshop, the draw package is very minimal. When I talked about Ron's deck earlier in our practice game, the Hiram being gone, I can see the effects of it on this deck now with the wardrobe. Whenever she came out, I had an answer for it, just because I was too afraid of what she would find with the draw, and so looking at his hand, seeing 2 or 3 cards left in his hand at the time, I'm like, okay, I have to get rid of this draw before he finds that workshop. And then all these items, what does he have here? John in this particular deck has 5, 9, 13, 14, 16, 17, 21 items. So that Queen is pulling out all of these items. That Tamatoa the 8 cost Tamatoa gets beefed up with all these items out there because there's not a lot of item removal in the game and the decks being played right now. So those items come out there almost permanently in every single game. And for every item played after the workshop, they're drawing cards. 1 ink, another card. 1 ink, another card. A few of the other spicier cards here as well that Ron isn't playing is the gold coin. It is an interesting card. I don't see it played, but it is very effective where you pay 1 ink. It's basically like the Sword of Shan Yu. Instead of exerting a character to ready a character, you're paying 1 ink and banishing this item to do it. I don't know how much success John is finding with it, but it's a 1 cost item to get out there and help beef up Tamatoa and utilize it in ways that that needs to be utilized. So That was the other one. There was one more change from Ron's deck as well that is escaping me at the moment. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it's just the queen and the coin. But yeah, 3-0. I don't have the matchups on the night, but very happy for John to be here. And sure, it won't be the last time. So congratulations to John. We will see you again. All right, moving on to Bodach's games on Thursday night. We have me. me with I'm finally on here with a 3-0 after a whole set and 2 weeks of playing. I have my Blurple. I'm back on the more traditional Blurple that we're used to, not the Jaflurple that I was running the end of the previous set. That was so much fun, and I still do very much enjoy, but decided to look into what other Blurple decks are being built right now and build around that. And here we are with basically what Mikey hazed on Twitter was running with at the time. A lot of fun. Don't let me fool you, though. I did have a bye. We only had 5 people on the night, but the 2 matches that I had went to 2-1. They were very tough. I played Andy with a Sapphire Emerald deck that I hope to feature on here. He's having a lot of fun with that deck, and I feel like when it hits hard. If you guys want to see that deck, definitely check out our Discord. He can probably post that in there to show you how much fun that is. But if you want to wait, you're more than likely going to see it on here because it is mean. It is cool. I struggled with it, but happened to get by. And then the other match was a Amber Steel against his wife Kirsten, who's very, very good at piloting that right now and did very, very well in Louisville last week. Wow. Louisville, before Jackalope Spam yells at me for mispronouncing. And I've been the one pronouncing it correctly this entire 2 weeks. And now I screw it up on this one. And I'm not even going to edit that out. I'm just going to run with this because I'm trying to get this done as fast as possible this week. But yeah, this is my Blurple that I had a lot of fun with. I'm very familiar with the Blurple play lines. The new cards in this particular deck are the 6 cost Anna that is whenever she quests, she has support, and whenever she quests, if you have an Elsa in play, you can draw a card. The Monstro, the 8 cost Monstro, 6/8 with Rush. This is the wide board killer that Blurple has needed for a long time. Of course, you have to have cards in your hand to utilize the wide board, and cards have to be exerted, of course. But this card comes out with Rush, and then for every card you discard, you can ready him up and attack again. So he is very, very strong, very much needed in this deck to deal with boards that have gone wide, and certainly was my hero in one of my matches with Kirsten. I think game 1 probably. And then the third and final card from the new set, Reign of Jafar, is this Radigan. Radigan is a legendary 8-cost inkable 6/7 that quests for 4 and has Ward. The only drawback to this card, again, you better have cards in your hand because if you play him, you have to be able to ink. If you don't ink that turn, that card gets banished. So make sure whenever you have Radigan on the board or when you play him, you have inked that turn so that he stays out there. And once you turn him sideways, he's vulnerable, but he does hit for 6. So almost anything running into him is going to get taken out as well. But he has to be answered. Questing for 4 is not something the opponent wants to let you do more than once. So at this point, yeah, we 3-0 on the night. Very happy to be here. I found a little bit of benefits of this 4-drop Kita. There was a lot of situations where after ramping on turn 2, my choices were Goat, Iago, Genie, or Kita, and I opted to take the ramp from Kita instead, just to prepare for basically what was in my hand would determine what was going to be what I'm going to do here. So, yeah, I am running out of steam here talking about my deck. I am not good about talking about myself, but yeah, this is the deck 3-0. Happy to be back on Blurple. It might just be a weekly thing. I don't know. I'm really feeling Red Fossa this week or this set again, and playing other things as well. I really need to get on Turnidogs, as I said before too, but this week it was Blurple. Happy to be here. And yeah, let's move on to the final deck of the week. And that final deck belongs to Nick at the Collector Store on Friday night with Blurple. Nothing like bookending this video with his daughter at the beginning and him at the end. This Blurple's a little bit different than mine, as we talked about privately. He is running the 6-cost Gaston. He's running 4 of the Iagos. I'm not a big fan of this Iago without the Rush Pan, but he is a presence that has to be dealt with. He is evasive and he is a 4-6, so he is vulnerable to anything that can target him, but if he comes out and he stays, he can wreck through a lot of stuff. So I understand why he's on here. I still haven't figured out if I want to cut him entirely, but running 4 of here for Nick. He's running 4 Hades, 2 Monstro, of course, because he is a monster and needs to be in Blurple. He is running locations. He's running 3 of the McDuck Manor, 2 of the Great Stone Dragons, which is something that I didn't touch on in my segment just a bit ago. He's not running Ratigan, but running Ratigan, having Great Stone Dragon on the board when Ratigan is allows you, if you don't have an inkable card, you very likely have a character in your discard to ink for the turn. So something to very much consider in the future when I'm having problems. If I ever have to banish Ratigan because I didn't ink, that Great Stone Dragon's going right into my deck and hopefully being utilized. He is running double the Finders Keepers. I don't like running 4 of those because, I mean, it helps you find it when you need it, but spending 5 ink to draw 3 cards a lot of times, unless you have the turn to do it, is a hard sell, because you're trying to build your board and everything. But he found success with it here. He did have a bye like I did. They only had 5 people on Friday night as well. He did play what did he tell me? He played Megan, who switched off of her Amber Steel to play the Emerald Amethyst Birds, and then he played Lili. He played Lili in round 2 against the Cherna Dogs, and which is a tough matchup, but he got through it. And yeah, so very successful. The other card from Reina Jafar I forgot to mention is Into the Unknown, which is a very exciting card that was announced. I did play around with it for a little bit. I do still like it. I got to defend it a little bit because me and Andy have been going back and forth on whether or not it actually is a good card. And it does have a lot of dependencies with cards needing to be exerted to use, but the 3 cost on it makes it, I think, really good and inkable. But we'll see in the future as the set progresses whether or not that card sticks around. He found success with it here, 3-0 on the night at the collector store. Congratulations to Nick. Between Blurple and your Emerald Steel discard, I feel like we're going to see you on here quite a bit. Happy to see more Blurple play, though. This is a great color combination that I'm happy to see succeed, and I'm sure you piloted. Of course, you piloted it very well. 3-0 on the night. Congratulations. We'll see you next time. And that's going to do it, folks. That is the local meta report for week 2 of Reign of Jafar. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to everybody who submitted their decks and the excitement that Lili had for getting on to the meta report. I'm glad that inspires you to be as great as possible. And it warms my heart to know that you're excited to be on here. And I'm excited to showcase you for playing so well and just being a great part of the community. So everybody watching, thank you. If you like what you see, please like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications for any kind of content we do here at the Rules of Villainy podcast. We have the podcast proper, Deck Test Tuesdays on Tuesday, of course, with Andy and Kirsten. And then the local meta report here on Mondays now. So there may be more content in the future. We're still workshopping some ideas, have some pretty cool ones that we want to get out there eventually. If you're in the area or somewhere nearby, please consider coming out to game night on June 29th, an all-day event. It is day 2 of the Disney Lorcana World Championship, in which Great Game Night is gracious enough to allow me to host a watch party. We will have a projector. We will have a sound system provided by another great local community member, Paul, who has volunteered to help with that, and just overall outstanding member of the community. Can't say thank you enough for that. But yeah, it should be a very, very good time. Really excited about that. We'll be open trading. We'll have my bulk, of course, as always, as we do on our Monday night leagues, for you to peruse, take whatever you want from it, get it out of my hands, because I have way too many trove boxes full of cards of commons and uncommons from sets 1 through 8, as well as a box of rare plus that I'm more than happy to consider trading or just giving away, depending on a number of variables, but I'm rambling here as I did through a lot of this video. This is a longer one, so I appreciate you sticking around if you're here for the outro, and hope to see you next week. If you want to be in contact with us even more, check out our socials below. We have a local Discord that is just growing every day, and so much communication and conversation on there, having a good time there if you want to talk with us further. So until next time, thank you again. Happy questing in all of your Lorcana games, and we will see you then.